Good morning. I'd like to call order the RTA Audit Safety, Compliance, and Real Estate Committee. I could have roll call, please, Teresa?
All right. Mayor Kumar,
Here.
Ms. Moss,
Here.
Mr. Joyce,
Here.
Ms. McCall, and Mayor Weiss. We have 4 committee members present.
Great. The next item is an executive session that's requested to discuss the results of the 2021 audit by the Auditor of State. Do I have a motion for that, please?
Motion to go into executive session.
Second, please.
Second.
Okay. Roll call?
Mayor Kumar,
Yes.
Ms. Moss,
Yes.
Mr. Joyce, Ms. McCall.
Yes.
We have 4 ayes and none opposed.
Do we choose to go in the caucus room or hold it here, Reverend Lucas?
So what we as a public do, since we had taken time out of our day to be here, how long will you be in executive session? Some of us are on meetings and some of us have other meetings to attend today. So what are we gonna do about this? What are you gonna do to accommodate us?
Okay, at this time, I ask the public to step out in the hallway while the board has their executive session. We will inform you when you can return to the room. Mayor Kumar, would you like to invite the rest of the board into this executive session, those who are not on your committee?
I would like to do so. And I think you might have a few members of your management team, Raj and others.
Board members, the audio committee is reminding you to please use your mic because we have 3 board members that are virtual with this morning. So when you speak, make sure your mic is close by so they can hear.
Motion to come out of executive session. Oh, I thought Teresa was here. Okay. Miss Teresa? A motion to come out of executive session.
Okay.
Second, Valerie.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Kumar,
Yes.
Ms. Moss,
Yes.
Mr. Joyce,
Yes.
Ms. McCall,
Yes.
and Mayor Weiss is virtual. Mayor Weiss, okay. We have 5 ayes and none opposed.
Being no other business, the meeting is adjourned.
Well done. Teresa. Hand me the gavel. Good morning. We are calling the Board of Trustees meeting to order, asking Teresa to call the roll.
Mayor Biassiata,
Here.
Ms. Duarte. Here. Mr. Joyce,
Here.
Mayor Kumar,
Here.
President Lucas,
Present.
Ms. McCall,
Here.
Ms. Moss,
Here.
Ms. Peo,
Here.
Mayor Weiss,
Here.
and Ms. Welch. We have 9 board members present.
We have the certification.
Mr. President, I first advise that notice of this meeting has been posted more than 24 hours in advance of the meeting, that the usual notification has been given to news media and other interested persons, and that all requirements of the Ohio Revised Code and rules and bylaws of this board regarding notice of meeting have been complied with.
Thank you very much. We have our approval of the May 24th board meeting. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second, all those in favor, aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. We now will have public comments, 2 minutes each. Those who are in person are here. We'll start with those that are here.
Mr. Rodriguez.
These are on agenda items.
Good morning. This is Mr. Rodriguez. I'm part of several things around town, Noble, Cleveland, there's a public transit sometimes. And I'm starting something called One Voice, where all people with disabilities are going to have a voice to express themselves across the country. And one of my projects is to bring to you guys what other transit systems are doing across the country and see how can RTA be better, and see in terms of safety reasons and what they're doing. Another part of me is the RTA transit systems, the train systems, the rapid stations. They need police presence. That RTA West Boulevard Cadell station is a little unsafe. It's not the most safest station of all, due to the aspects that the area that it's located is a high crime area. I need you to give them a little bit of attention, please. Thank you for giving me the time to give public comment about this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. The agenda, the items on the agenda. I don't see anything on this agenda still to have that that escalator fix at Superior. to have accommodations, an elevator and other accommodations on East 79th Street. And I just want to know, how does this agenda help we women of color, our male counterparts, and our children? Because this agenda is not effective for the people who I know. And I'm a little burdened with you all this morning because we were asked to leave the room, and when we left this room, there were all white males making decisions on our money. I didn't see a woman of color, I didn't see a female even in there. A male counterpart of color, any of our children counting our money. So whose agenda is this and who is it for? I'm gonna come back for non-agenda items because you all have another agenda, which is not the right agenda for the people.
All right, anyone else here? Anybody else in person? If not, is anybody on the, oh, one more, thank you.
We have 2 callers.
1 minute, please. We have one more person here. Go right ahead.
Good morning. My name's Josiah Quarles. I am here representing Clevelanders for Public Transit. I'm also work at Northeast Ohio Coalition for the Homeless and involved in several other community organizations. I wanted to thank you for launching Easy Fare. As stated in the Framework for the Future, the authority's strategic plan speeding up the boarding process makes fare collections more convenient and prioritizes both riders and the Greater Cleveland RTA. With Easy Fare, the board can eliminate the unnecessary boarding delays by using all-door boarding. System-wide all-door boarding brings benefits of speeding up every trip by up to 20%. In order to make this possible, all buses need to have that equipment installed in their doors. It's also a perfect pairing for the upcoming Transit Ambassador pilot, so that if someone does need to have some assistance with that, Transit Ambassadors will be able to assist. It's better for everyone. We'll speed up the transit, get people where they need to go faster, and utilize the pilot program that is currently in process, and would like to commend you for taking that step with the Transit Ambassadors, but would also appreciate some updates because it seems very opaque. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for your compliments to the RTA as well. And we'll continue to work together. I think when you hear the outpouring of our work for the ambassadors, you'll see that we've covered some of the things that you have mentioned. Anyone else in person here? All right, we're ready for the calls.
Okay, in the back, we'll take the first caller.
Caller from extension 8330.
Okay, I'm Evangelist Anderson, and I'd like to know, by the grace of God, though, that if we would have like some elevators, like they do on Shaker, over on Lee and Shaker and all. Lee and Van Aken. We have elevators, that would take you up or down, to the rapid. And I feel that it should be in some other places. Not only that, we need some restrooms on some of those rapid stops, especially for me being a senior and other seniors that we know of. We need some restrooms and all also. And then another thing I want to stress out on is that we need to be getting the 48A South miles, going back, like it was Tarkington. And also, we need to that 32 bus that we had, before. I think we need to get a few more buses on the line because that is inconvenience for most people, you know, who trying to get around, you know. That's my opinion on it, that we need security also on some of these, most of these rapid stations. We need police security going on also, you know, in most places like that. And the cameras, and I hope and pray to God that we get all that. That's my opinion, what I'm telling you right now. In Jesus' name. You know.
Is there another?
Yes, my name is Anthony Taylor, and I would like to say that yeah, we need more we need restrooms for our seniors and our disabled people because I'll be at more stops and people are using the bathroom on themselves. And they can't, and they be trying to find a bathroom, but they can't find one after they get off the bus, off the rapids and stuff like that, and all that, and everything else, because this is unacceptable, and we hope that we can get the 48A back and the 15A back, because people are walking and they can't get where they got to go. And being late because there's no bus there. And God bless you.
Are there any other?
Do we have any more callers online?
We have 2 more callers. Caller from extension 0950.
Yes, this is Carlita Gardner. Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Yes, this is Carlita. This is Carlita Gardner with Ward 1. We have been introducing new routes since last year of 2021, and it seems as though it's just being ignored, and you're still getting complaints from the communities on the east side that you're not fulfilling your part as RTA. There are all routes that have been dismantled and that you're not making or even putting a foot forward to put routes back in place. These routes we're requiring to be put back in place are the 48A and the 15A. Also, there are other communities that are at a disadvantage because you have not put their routes back in place. So it seems like you're just still ignoring the fact that these communities need these routes that you have dismantled.
Okay, I think we're ready for the next caller.
Caller from extension 0387.
Yes, this is Eric Stewart. I'm going to open up with reminding you that you have a responsibility. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Stewart. Go ahead.
I'm going to open up with reminding you that you have a responsibility to the social economic well-being of the community as it applies to the implementation of public transit. You have not met that responsibility in following matters. If you had given the community the opportunity to give you what I've been giving you since March of last year, you would know that the 15A that I suggested runs for 3 miles the same route as number 15, so you'd still be able to have that service that you now have every 15 minutes. In addition to that, it gives you an additional mile at the beginning of the route that the 15 doesn't cover from Pinecrest Shopping Center. This same suggested number 15A bus will cross the rapids, all 3 of them, twice. It would give people service at 131st up to Shaker Square, which you do and have acknowledged is service that you want because you have other buses that run through there, so that will complement that service. In addition to that, I've given all of you information to show how that 15A that ends at Cleveland State University touches Cleveland State, Tri-C Metro, Tri-C East. It brings you within 3 blocks of Case Western Reserve. It goes within 2 blocks of several hospitals, 2 taxpayer-funded neighborhood public libraries, and at least within 3 blocks of 6 taxpayer-funded neighborhood public schools. This route is a very serviceable route to the community, and it would not require you to bring in any more drivers or any more buses, and it's only being requested to run once an hour in a 16-hour period, 5 days a week, where we could make some negotiations for the weekend where service would not be as necessarily required. But you've ignored it. You haven't given any response to it, no feedback at all. Every time I've asked for you to show the results of your homework that shows that you came to the conclusion that you came to for the 15, there's been no response for that either. But you keep saying that you had it, Joel Freilich and Blonce Cavers. In addition to that, at the Community Advisory Committee Board meeting, Joel said he was going to give me, this was on June 9th, he said he was going to give me the information.
Mr. Stewart, I'm sorry, that's 2 minutes.
They gave an update, and we still don't have that.
In the back.
Still don't have that.
Do we have any more callers?
We have one more caller. Caller from extension 9716.
Go ahead.
Well, my name is Sarita Montgomery. I'm calling regarding ridership. I was pleased to see on the agenda the ridership has increased post-pandemic. However, the suggested route and adding back for the 15A and adding back the 48A would increase the ridership exponentially, I believe. The elimination of that route both those routes has reduced ridership. So what the ridership is showing on the agenda item, how it has increased post-pandemic, really could be greater by adding back routes that travel through the interior of the city and allow more ridership. So please, we've been expressing this for almost a year now, well, actually 13 months, that you take a look at this 15.8A and add back the 48A to offer transportation to the interior of the Ward 1 community. Also, I know that the board is supposed to approve changes. I'd like to know, did the board actually look at the next-gen route eliminations and did the vote unanimously approve to eliminate the routes that were eliminated? And I'll wait for your answer. Thank you.
Do we have any more callers?
No additional callers at this time.
All right, thank you very much. And we'll close that section. We now have a report. Teresa, what committee will need to make a report?
The staff will determine that. I know that Ms. Pale wanted to make a report for her committee.
All right. Ms. Pale?
Thank you, Reverend Lucas. Yes, I wanted to say that July 21st will be the next ad hoc committee meeting in the Everyday Boardroom at 5 p.m., and everyone is welcome. Thank you.
Teresa, what was the date on that?
July 21st.
Yes.
That's 5 p.m.
All right. Any other person needing to make a committee report? All right, if not, we will move down to 13 and ask for the introduction of new employees and announcement of promotion.
Good morning, President Lucas, Ms. Birdsong, members of the board. It's my pleasure to provide you with our new hires and promotions for June. First, we'll start off with our new hires. We have Mark Bazdar, Transit Police Officer, Joshua Bazzoli, Legal Intern, Melanie Brooks, Laborer, Tiana Brown, Recruiter, Sean Burton, Operator, Princess Bush, Operator, Jarrell Fair, Operator, Laborer, Devon Hall, Laborer, Randall Hampton, Operator, Michael Jeter, Operator, Monica Maddox, Assistant Contract Administrator, Jordan Motley, Operator, Zane Patterson, Business Analyst in our Public Transit Development Program, Mark Pry, Operator, Katrina Smith, Operator, Tina Taylor, Operator, and Fraser Tollerer, Operator. Now for our promotions, Lamont Terrell and Keith Flagg, Equipment Repair Leader, Anne-Marie Pribish, Contract Administrator, Jermaine Montavo, Assistant Equipment Manager, Christian Miller, Budget Management Analyst. Please join me in welcoming these employees to RTA as well as congratulations on their promotions.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Fields, where are we on general figures of operators? Where do we stand, both on the regular bus and the rail and paratransit? What's our percentage of where are we right now?
So, President Lucas, appreciate you asking that question. In preparation for our board retreat a couple weeks ago, we actually ran our information to look at operators for bus and paratransit from past year to current. So we looked from May to May. And when we were looking at May of last year, we were roughly 100 operators down with a number of people in the training cycle. As we looked at this May, we were 73 operators down from our optimal service needs with roughly 30 plus operators in training. So people in the pipeline to be able to fill and cut into that gap of people that are needed for optimal service. So we certainly have seen some increases in number of people in the pipeline and increase in number of people that have been hired for bus operations. Similarly with paratransit, last year, we were about 24 operators down for paratransit optimal service. This May and going into June, we were down to 9 people short of optimal service for paratransit with 6 in training. So we've cut into that paratransit deficit as well and continue to do so daily. So every 2 weeks, a training class of operators come into RTA. Every month, we track how many people are coming out of training, and particularly as we see this improvement from last year to this year, we recognize it's certainly not an overnight thing, but it's something that we work on daily to make sure that we're cutting into the deficit.
All right. As far as paratransit is concerned, we are, Ms. Houston is here today. We are at our highest amount of riders in our history, and you know I'm very glad to report that. And they're doing a great job over there. And we're down to, I think now, just about 3 that we need to fill in, got all new drivers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Lucas. Ms. Moss?
Yeah, do we have capacity to train more people? I mean, I know you're having a class every 2 weeks, so you can only presumably you can only hire so many people at a time because you have a training period to get them on the road.
Yes, and we look at the training capacity continually. So we do believe we have some more capacity, and we're working through that process to figure out how we add on more capacity to train folks. Over the period of the last year and a half, we've also looked at our training cycle in general to determine what types of things may be needed within our training cycle. what types of things may not necessarily be needed, but still make sure that we have a safe and productive customer-oriented operator coming out of training. So we do look at that and anticipate that we probably can increase that capacity a little bit more.
If I can piggyback for a moment, and George, keep me honest as well. A large part of how long we keep operators in the pipeline is another indicator of success. And so I believe we also have reduced the amount of time, days-wise, as far as how long people are in the pipeline, what you can train when they're on the road versus what you can train before they get actually out there. And then also looking at the days of the week that we actually train and the time frames. So if you're an operator, for example, that's starting out and you've got to work a holiday or you've got to work overnight, if you only train with us in the beginning from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, you have a different perception of what the job is. And so then the retention might adjust depending on that as well. So we're working within our internal forces, our instructors and our operators to be able to change that mindset so that we can have a variation of training times and days so that folks get a little bit more of a reality taste, if you want to say that, before they actually hop on the road. And then also looking at other items as far as newer operators taking on additional work and that kind of thing to be able to kind of reduce the potential of folks marking off or not being able to fulfill their runs. We want to make sure that we retain folks as well as get them in the seat. But very good questions. And we can also come back to you with a more intensive update as time goes on.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you again, George.
Thank you, President Luce.
We now have our resolutions, and beginning with 2022-52.
Expressing appreciation to Roberta Duarte for her service as a member of the Board of Trustees of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority and extending best wishes for many years to come.
Move adoption, Valerie.
Second?
Second, Biassiata.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
I have here, all in favor, thank you. I have here a beautiful plaque, solid gold, ready for delivery to you. Roberta, we're going to miss you. You certainly brought much information and zeal to the board, and we wish you the very best, and we also know that you are taking over an opportunity that you weren't looking for, but because of the type of person you are, you've accepted the work that you're getting ready now to do on behalf of your family. So we will make sure you get this. It will be delivered by Brinks, I'm sure. Give her a hand for her service. All right. Let's move on down to 2022-53.
All right. Authorizing contract number 2022-19 with Mott McDonald LLC for project 19.43. On-call signal engineering services 2022 in an amount not to exceed $450,000 for a period of 24 months. RTA Capital and/or Development Funds, Engineering and Project Development Department budget.
Have a motion?
Move adoption, Valerie.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
No one's opposed? Thank you. 2022-54.
Authorizing contract number 2022-046 with Petro Choice LLC for the furnishing of antifreeze as specified and as required for a period of 1 year, an amount not to exceed $100,259.25. General Fund Fleet Management Department budget.
We have a motion, please.
Move to adopt, Biassiata.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. I need to make this announcement every time. It sounds like we're just running through this. These have been to committee, have been discussed, staff has worked on it, and this is its final reading. 2022-56.
Mr. Chair, I believe we are on
sorry.
55.
55.
Okay.
Want to make sure you're,
Authorizing contract number 2022-047 with Alliance National Ltd., DBE, Demita Iron and Metal Ltd. for the recycling of scrap metal as required for a period of 4 years, revenue generating.
We have a motion, please?
So moved.
Is there a
Second, Valerie.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Aye.
Thank you very much. 2022-56.
Authorizing contract number 2022-071 with Johnson Controls Fire Protection, LP, to provide fire and safety inspection and testing through the State of Ohio's Department of Administrative Services Cooperative Purchasing Program in an amount not to exceed $131,455.25 for a period of 1 year, and in an amount not to exceed $131,455.25 for 1 option year, for a total contract amount not to exceed $262,910.50, General Fund, Transit Police Department budget.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
To adopt.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. 2022-57.
Amending Section 410.01 Procurement Policies of the Codified Rules and Regulations of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority.
Have a motion, please?
So moved.
A second? Thank you. Any discussion?
Just a quick comment is
All right.
for the audience is we're updating our bylaws and going through, and really the changes to this particular section was making it, there's change of structure, really change it. We used to have the Secretary Treasurer, and it really is a name change, giving Ms. Birdsong or the General Manager and Chief Executive Officer, and it was more of an updating of that provision.
All right. Any other comments? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. 2022-58.
Amending Section 640.04 of the Codified Rules and Regulations and Section 100.04 of the Personnel Policies Employee Responsibility for GCRTA Property, repealing Section 628.06 Service Recognition Program of the Codified Rules and Regulations, and removing Section 644.15 Service Recognition Program and 640.01 Disclaimer of the Codified Rules and Regulations as duplicates of Personnel Policies, Section 400.15 Service Recognition Program and 100.01 Disclaimer.
Motion, please.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion?
Aye. Go ahead.
And anyone opposed? Thank you very much. 2022-59.
Amending Section 640.05 Employee Communications with the Media of the Codified Rules and Regulations, and Section 100.05 Employee Communications with the Media of the Personnel Policies of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority.
Have a motion?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
Just a comment, once
Really?
again, this is just a changing of the head of our media relations, I think it was called. Now it's the Public Information Officer, so it's really a changing of a name.
That's correct. Anything else? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
No, no's. All right, very good. 22-60.
Authorizing the filing of grant applications with the State of Ohio for state fiscal year 2023 financial assistance under all State of Ohio programs.
All right, is there a motion?
Move adoption. Valerie.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Aye.
All right, thank you. 2022-61.
Authorizing the General Manager, Chief Executive Officer to enter into an agreement with Medina County to exchange operating funds.
All right, have a motion?
Move adoption. Valerie.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you very much, and we thank you for the resolution.
Mr. Chair, I actually did not read the entire resolution. So let's try this again. Authorizing the general manager, chief executive officer to enter into an agreement with Medina County to exchange operating funds for Medina County's grant funds and to provide for Medina County to fund a portion of the costs of RTA's 251 flyer route.
All right.
Do we need it to correct?
We move it, we'll just do it again. Have a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Now that we heard one more page of it.
All right.
All right. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Aye. Thank you very much. All right, it's always a joy and a delight to hear from our Secretary Treasurer as he approaches the podium.
Reverend Lucas, good morning. Members of the board, my name is Raj Gautam, Deputy General Manager of Finance and the board's Secretary Treasurer, here to present an overview of the information that is included in your monthly package. We'll start reviewing the general economic conditions and the unemployment rate. U.S. unemployment rate was unchanged in May at 3.6%. Ohio unemployment went down from 4% to April 2022 to 3.9% for May 2022. Cuyahoga County unemployment in April was estimated at 5.5%. The Cuyahoga County unemployment rates are not seasonally adjusted, which is what caused the increase in the reported unemployment rates previously, and we'll continue to highlight that as we go forward. This then looks at the five largest metropolitan statistical areas in Ohio. Over the past 3 years, the height of the labor force was in February 2020. And after the pandemic, we are now back to pre-COVID unemployment rates. As previously highlighted by one of the callers, actually, the ridership has been slowly and steadily increasing. We are looking at a 3+ year summary showing the pre-COVID ridership in the orange at the top of the page. Red indicates the current year-to-date ridership for fiscal 2022. May ridership was up 30.6% when compared to May 2021. And on a year-to-date basis, ridership is 19.1% above 2021 levels. Related to ridership, the fare revenue for May was $2.25 million, 29.9% higher than May 2021, 25.6% higher than budgeted amounts, and on a year-to-date basis, passenger fares are 23.6% higher when we compare it to the same period in 2021. Sales tax has continued to remain very, very strong for us. As we all know, sales tax tends to be the largest unrestricted source of revenue for us to support the operations. For June 2022, which once again is based on the economic activity within the county that was conducted in March 2022 with the three-month lag that I've often referred to, these receipts were 6.9% higher than June 2021, 4.8% higher than the budgeted amount. And out of the sales tax base, 17 of the 23 categories were positive in June, with the largest increases in motor vehicles and watercraft at 18.1, and this is just the monthly numbers, and on the right hand of the slide, you see the year-to-date numbers. That's all I have as far as an update. I'd be happy to take any questions that you may have.
Questions from the board? So we are seeing an increase as we move along this year. That's correct?
That is correct.
All right. Anything else? Thank you very much, Raj. For
my pleasure. Thank you.
Good department. Now we hear from our general manager.
Good morning, everyone. I will attempt to be brief. We have quite a few updates on activities that we have been completing over the last 30 days. Before I start, I will ask one of our deputies, Natoya Walker-Minor, to give a brief discussion, or sorry, brief update on our community connection line. I neglected to have a slide for that, as we did send out that press release late yesterday, so I would be remiss if I don't mention it. Natoya, if you want to give a 30-second update on the community connection line.
Sure. Good morning. Thank you. Our Community Connection line, we released our press release on yesterday. It is a very customer-friendly and efficient way for our customers to respond to us. They can respond to us by email, QR code, or dialing in so that we can know what they're thinking and we can be responsive. This all in line for us to have improved customer service, to listen to our customers, and to respond internally. Those actions that we learn that are legitimate actions that we have to make a change for will be incorporated into the work that we do through our traction. So we will monitor that, and we will have performance management and metrics along that work. Thank you.
Thanks, Natoya. So we're really proud about being able to really get out there and get the information directly from our customers, good, bad, or indifferent. And so this is really a bolstering of that communication effort, as Natoya mentioned. So it is called the Community Connection Line. There's 3 options, and you can reference the latest media release. It's via phone at 216-621-9500 or via the website, riderta.com. /customer service, or the QR code. So we'll be pushing that out there to make sure that we're in the community, as our tagline says. Okay, moving forward, I wanted to be able to give a quick update and a recap. We had an RTA board retreat with you lovely board members here on June 9th at the Tri-C Corporate College Conference Center. As you can see, there is a fantastic photo of everyone who was there in person. We did have one virtual member as well. And we were really able to explore the topics of trust building, culture and inclusivity and environmental change, and board effectiveness, among others. We had a couple breakout sections and also discussed personal communication preferences so that we can become a more effective board overall. We had a few photos we wanted to be able to share with you. Did a great job by Tri-C. We appreciate that. And also we had 3 facilitators who spearheaded the event. It will be of note, Sharon Sobel Jordan was the founder and chief executive officer of Open Space Solutions. She also was just named yesterday as the head of the United Way. So we were in good company, unbeknownst to us, of course, of next steps for certain individuals, but she's a great addition to our team for the board retreat and will be so for that as Cleveland as well. Marty Pollack, the founder and managing director of the WIT Group, and then also Margaret Brooks, a leadership development and practitioner executive coach that deals with board change across the board. So we had a great day of activities. We also had a few folks that were there from the public, so we appreciate your support. Also would be remiss without mentioning that we did get an announcement within the last week or so, which came across our desks for nearly $600,000 to improve transit services in Greater Cleveland. So we have a lot of grants in play. Mike Shipper and Mary Flannery, Mary Beth Feek, and just the entire team do a fantastic job of being able to keep us in the pipeline, along with our advocacy groups on the ground in DC, as well as those in Columbus. We were awarded a grant through the Areas of Persistent Poverty program. It provides grants for planning, engineering, or financial areas to improve transportation, especially in areas experiencing long-term economic distress. Unfortunately for Cleveland, we do fall within that realm. However, fortunately for us, we are the recipient of this grant so that we can do a little bit more research to find out how to actually extend our services to those most in need. So we will be coming back to you to explain a little bit of how we plan to utilize those funds. But we do appreciate Senator Brown. Sherrod Brown has been a longtime supporter of public transit and continues to advocate for us on the docket. So thank you very much, Senator. We appreciate your support. Also wanted to give a quick update on Safety Day at the Cleveland Metro Parks Zoo. The Safety Department and Rail actually showed up en masse to be able to extend a helping hand to Cleveland Metro Parks at the pavilion. We had a lot of interactive displays, talked about literature, safety on bus and rail alike, and also we're there to kind of interact with the community, so had a great day overall. We also had a lot of celebration going on in June with the Metro Health Juneteenth Freedom Fest. This was the really celebration that's known on a national scale now here in the United States that really celebrates the end of and emancipation of slavery in the 1800s. I believe 1865 was the actual year, despite the documentation signed in 1863. So this is really just earmarks being able to celebrate freedom in all different respects, especially for those of color in the city of Cleveland and across the United States. We were present at a lot of different celebrations that day. Our board chair, Reverend Lucas, was also present, I believe, at 4 events in one day, if I'm not mistaken, Reverend, and we appreciate you for that, and also our paratransit division for making sure that we could facilitate that. We just wanted to be able to share that with you. You can see just the jubilation by a lot of folks that were experiencing that, that historic moment. Also wanted to advise you that we are making good on our signing of the Hispanic Pledge. We mentioned that a few months back at the top of the year. We actually were invited to speak as part of the Midwest Regional Hispanic Leadership Summit. This was in Minneapolis or thereabouts in Minnesota. We had our deputy, Natoya Walker-Minor, be able to talk about workforce and equity. She was in pretty good hands, I'd say. Chobani Greek Yogurt was one of the executives there, as well as some big top Fortune 500 companies, 3M among, and U.S. Bank, I believe, was in the panel as well. All have signed on to the Hispanic Promise, and really this is just to be able to jumpstart our activities to be able to make sure that we're an inclusive company and we continue to operate in that manner. We also were privileged to be able to sit at the table with one of our board members, current, and one of our employees past, Valerie J. McCall, board member, and also Taras Magala, senior, were honored through the Cleveland International Hall of Fame. This was really just a nice event that really talked about the integrity and also the commitment to just bringing Cleveland into the realm of International Hall of Fame activities, being able to talk about the equity and inclusionary activities that are happening over the years, and how Ms. McCall and Mr. Smargala actually moved the needle forward on behalf of Cleveland and the various boards they set upon, and also just their everyday duties that affected the city. So we appreciate that, and we extend very well-deserved kudos to you, Valerie, for this award. We were very excited and honored to be there on your behalf. We also would like to give a quick update. We've been quite busy over the last 30 days. APTA, the American Public Transportation Association, had a rail conference that was held on June 5th through 8th. This was in California, San Diego, I believe, and we had George Fields, who was part of that discussion about workforce. This is a very hot topic within the industry, and I'm proud to say that Cleveland is within those conversations. George was able to talk about workforce development and new partnership opportunities. As you know, we have a lot of partnerships with Tri-C, and we're actually reaching out to CSU to be able to think about how we can move that needle forward along with the sewer district and others. He was in good company as well here with the FTA Deputy Administrator, as well as SEPTA, which is Philadelphia Transit, and also Shinga Wang, who represents the Transportation Learning Center, as well as the FTA Deputy Associate. So we definitely were in good hands here, and I plan to be able to bring back more activities and more forward movement to you in the coming months. We also, for one of the first times in a few years or even more, we walked in the Pride Parade. This is a celebration of the community and really talking about the equality and equity and just being proud of who you are despite who you choose to love. The Pride Parade was a great event that happened downtown. We had estimated 30 employees across the agency who really just celebrated the day. Operation Kid Watch was there as well and fingerprinted approximately 80 kids. That always helps with Amber Alerts and those kind of things to make sure that we're helping through keeping our kids safe. You've heard of it before. We wanted to just recap. The Easy Fare launch was a great success. This was on June 22nd in Public Square. This was really our grand opening, if you want to call it that, for the app that really makes it easy to ride our system on more of a regional level. And this is a combination celebratory event with Masabi, which is the main partner that we have in launching this app. Many thanks to the IT and ITS team that we have here who have made this possible. This is really just even a zooming past of the smart card. We'll still have that available. However, this opens up the potential for us to talk about fare capping, which will be something we'll be bringing to you later on within the next 12 months or less, so that we can actually become probably within the top tier of the United States as far as equity when it relates to fare capping and when it relates to how to pay. Local media was there as well, and we just had a great response from the public. With that is really the end of my report for June. Unless there are any questions for the board, I'd be happy to entertain.
Any questions for our CEO? Board? Again, Mayor, on behalf of the board, thank you for the very efficient and indefatigable way that you look after this great agency.
Thank you.
And she does an excellent job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will not belabor you with a report because just about everything that she mentioned, I was there. This has turned out to be a wonderful job, and I do it, of course, with joy. I share just a word about several of them. On the Easy Fair, there was a stage that was built at Public Square, and in order for me to get on the stage, Ms. Miner worked out a wonderful ramp, and I felt like I was almost the president of the United States. They had this ramp running all the way through for me to get up. But then the amusing thing happened that I didn't realize until after the pictures came out. As I spoke, there was a bus that came right behind me, and the bus was a big advertisement for Calhoun Funeral Home, which of course. And when they put the picture out, and I was busy showing it to my son said, only you, Daddy, would be speaking with a Calhoun bus behind you. And certainly on Juneteenth, we did have the opportunity to go to 4 places, and I enjoyed all of them. And then the other things, I won't belabor you because all the way through I was there, and I enjoyed representing the board. And of course, some of you board members have been in and out on those events as well. So again, thank you very much, and looking forward to, where are we with the ambassadors?
If I can enter as far as how many applicants, that kind of thing.
About where we are.
I'm not sure if we still have George in the back there. If you would like to relay that information. From my last check-in, we had over 100 applicants for the ambassadors. I know that we are, our goal is 10 ambassadors, 2 of them being mental health and social worker in skill set, and the other 8 would be fair enforcement and just general helping through the system. But George, if you want to give more detailed update, I believe we were over 100 applicants, maybe 120 at the last.
Yes, that's correct, Ms. Birdsong. Mr. President, members of the board, we're actually in the process of interviewing for the transit ambassadors and crisis intervention specialists this week. So we're going through a number of interviews for both of those positions, and what we anticipate over the next couple of weeks is that we'll be down to those finalists that will be able to go through our pre-employment testing, as well as background checking and all those things that would provide them with the opportunity to come on board with us later in July.
What is the general time of getting them out in
by the end of July.
By the end of July.
Yeah, by the end of July.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
By the end of July, they'll end up going through the training with transit police.
Great. I'm asked that quite a bit recently, and I want to be able to answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, George. On your way back to the seat, Doc, if you have any additional information regarding the timeline and training as far as when there'll be boots on the ground.
Yeah. Doc, you might want to use this mic because we're getting feedback now.
Thanks. Good morning, Mr. Birdsong, Reverend Lucas, members of the board. I am Flounce Caver, the Chief Operating Officer for the Greater Cleveland RTA. We are aggressively working with HR on the recruitment of the ambassadors and the crisis intervention specialists. We expect that we'll have them in, starting to come in by the mid to end of July. They will have a training period throughout August, so that by the end of August, beginning of September, they'll be out on the system. We have a true project plan, and we're sure that we're going to hit those dates.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, is there any old business? Any old business? Any new business?
One comment for board members, Reverend Lucas, the ability for board members to attend virtually and be counted as a quorum and vote expires at the end of June. So this would be the last meeting that you could attend remotely.
All right, thank you very much. That's the chair of our audit committee getting letting you know this is it after today. Thank you very much, Mayor. Any other new business? Any other new business? New business. All right, public comments.
Just an FYI, I'm Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts, apostolate. George Washington was the first person to free slaves as a president of the United States of America, and that was in 1799. Just an FYI. And the first people to free slaves was in Haiti. So let's have our information correct. I am very disappointed with you all this morning, more than you will ever know. I'm not angry at you. I'm disappointed. We have a Booker T. W.E.B. going on here. People of color don't just serve tables and drive buses. People of color have minds, and we make decisions. Women, we women of color, we multitask. And I'm very disappointed in you all with this racist agenda that you all have had for the 20 years that I've been here. George Dixon lost his life. I'm going to say that to you. It resonates in your minds. Because he was doing a complaint of discrimination and investigation in this agency. And then today, you have all white males counting our money when we won't provide for all other people. Disabled people are so discriminated against in RTA. We're going to have to do better than this, you all. We're in a lot of trouble in this country. The United States Supreme Court made a decision on women's bodies Friday. So are women going to be arrested on our transportation system because of a choice we make for our bodies? That's your mother. That's your sister. That's your daughter. What is our transportation system being used for? And I know you all keep ringing these bells on us, but you're not listening to us. And you're not hearing us, because if you were, we wouldn't have the auditor in here to question us.
All right, any other public comments? Yes, ma'am. Oh, you don't want to hear me speak.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's a nice weather we have right now. While we are enjoying that, think about today's agenda we have gone through. Number one, the Easy Fair was a very good event. I myself attended there. However, we need the women who understand the situation, for example, our Dr. Walker Minor, to straighten out a little bit communication issues, because people now getting the wrong message about the Easy Fare. They thought if they use the app or the smart card, they can go even across the counties. But actually, the message we should also emphasize. The reason this is important, that's because all other neighboring counties are joining that. And you can use an app to purchase tickets based on each county transit authority's fare system. And I think that message was buried, and that's why even some of the RTA workers were asking that question too. Second, I'm glad that we had a board retreat. Myself attended, but ironically, lots of people criticized that. Why the board retreat if you want a public participation to a certain degree, and you pick a location which doesn't have a very good public transit access? So I guess we can work on that. Tri-C is very helpful to offer lots of assistance and the partnership with GCRTA. How about next time we try the metro, the downtown campus, or the eastern campus itself instead of the college, the corporate college campus? And sure, there are lots of things we can go through right now about the safety. The obvious one, don't even worry about the elevators or a restroom. Now think about that. Healthline a while ago, they installed something white plastic panels on the side of the curves, your stations. However, I think that really make them misleading ideas to all the drivers, because now lots of Healthline drivers or park the vehicle far away from the platform, which is not good for the people using walkers, because in that case, you may not think they need a ramp, but actually the distance is too wide for the elderly people, people with a cane and crutches. Thank you very much.
I got a suggestion for that. I need to see you, Lou. Hello, this is Mr. Rodriguez again. I would like to suggest, well, I'm going to work on writing a letter to Congress, because one of the things that we're running into parent transit scheduling is the long waits, like about 30, 40 minutes wait time for get an answer. And I believe that your system is outdated and we need more schedulers. Thank you.
All right. Any other public comments here in person? Anyone else? All right, and now we go to the telephone.
We have 4 callers online.
All right.
Caller from extension 8330.
Yes, I have a comment, though, please. My name is Evangelist Anderson, and I'd like to inform you that on the public transportation and all, we do need some police security on board, because you see, I've heard that it's been people been robbed, on these rapid transit stops, especially on the west side and all. We need to have police, security there. We also, however, need to have public restrooms there. And not only that, too, we need to have some elevators, especially for elderly people like me. We old and everything. And we need police security all around, and along with some cameras. Plus, we need to get the 48A back, and not only that, we need to get some other buses like the 15A and so forth, and the number 5 and all these things, though, because see, it gets to be inconvenient for some folks who got to walk so far to these bus stops and all, and then we need to sort of like lower the cost on public transportation, especially when people got to go to work and all that and so forth. We need to bring down the cost a little bit on public transportation to make things convenient, for everyone. And so it's not bringing on stress and all. Plus, we need around security around these young people, these kids, though, who like to fight and like to start something. We just need the protection, police security, because we old, and that's all I got to tell you. And get these other.
Okay, we can take the next caller.
Caller from extension 0950.
Hello, caller. Are you there?
If we don't hear from that caller, let's move to the next caller and circle back.
Caller from extension 0387.
So this is to you, India Birdsong. This is to you, Charles Lucas. This is to you, Flonce Cavers, Joe Freilich, and all the Board of Trustees, particularly you, India Birdsong and Charles Lucas. Since you were bringing up Juneteenth, you should be reminded that those people had the truth held back from them for 2 years. 2 years by people that had the truth, as you've held back the truth for more than a year at this point about what will maximize the efficiency of public transit in the community on the routes that I've been calling you about. The number 50, if it began at Marymount Hospital, which is something that you could have done before you implemented this next gen and ran it up to 131st and Miles and then put it on the route that it runs now, down Miles and then across 116th, would have served more people in the pursuit that you claim that you're trying to pursue, which is maximizing pursuit of people traveling to work, school, and hospital, because it would have started at Marymount Hospital and it would have ended over in the Cleveland Clinic area. And then, in addition to that, if you had actually studied the matter, you would have seen that the number 48A could have been left in place and given the weekend service, which was the only thing that the public was asking for, the weekend service. Everybody was okay with the hourly service. And it also would have ended in the Cleveland Clinic area after passing through University Circle, the red line, the blue and the green line, Shaker Square, and all points in between. You're holding back the truth from the public. This is not something difficult. It appears to me at this point that you're only going to provide health professionalism to the degree that you are forced to do so, because you will not acknowledge that. In addition to that, you're talking this information about wanting to be more interactive with the public, but I showed you my homework. I'm from the public. I showed you how I came to my conclusions. I'm from the public. I gave you the information that was relative to you, that was also in your own information, your database, and you won't even acknowledge the truth of it all. This is disgraceful. This is truly disgraceful.
Thank
And
you.
if you have any questions,
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. That's 2 minutes.
Next caller, please.
Caller from extension 9716.
Hello, this is Sarita Montgomery again. I'd like to know, is the public able to get copies of the slide presentation shown today on the YouTube website of today's meeting? Because they don't they're not the same slide that's on the agenda for today.
The slides will be posted after this meeting.
And what would
Is there another call? Did she get disconnected? Okay.
Caller?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go
Hello?
ahead.
Okay, I got a message saying that I was put into the hold. I'm asking, where will the slides of today's meeting be posted?
I will get your number and follow up with you. They'll be on the board page.
Okay, and secondly, at the beginning of the meeting, I did ask a question about the board. When should I expect to receive a reply to the question I asked about did the board unanimously agree to eliminate the buses that were eliminated in the next gen process?
So if I may weigh in on this one. We had an extensive, we being RTA, along with the board, we had a presentation, and Teresa, if I can ask when you do respond to Ms. Montgomery and perhaps even Mr. Stewart, resend them the presentation that should have been posted, or at least the link to the presentation. We had a presentation on the routes that are affected by Next Gen. It also summarized the multiple meetings with the community, councilmen, and also individuals. We did advise the board. I believe that was at the request of Ms. McCall, as well as board president to make sure that we have been thorough in our analysis, and we have continued to do that multiple times for the benefit of the public. So I would ask that you review those slides respectfully, and then we can discuss further from that vantage point. We do understand that everyone is not always happy with the decisions made by the authority. However, due diligence has been taken to be able to review the requests and the proposals that are given by the public as well. So we can't always re-review, but please let the record reflect that we have taken those steps, and we encourage you to be able to revisit that presentation that should be archived in our records as well. Thank you. Next caller, please, if we have one.
We have one more caller. Caller from extension 2019.
Hello. Hello, my name is Dante Taylor, and I hope that you can get more dispatchers, more schedulers on the line for fair transit, because I times where I be 80, like literally one day I was 90 in the hole to get to a RTA person to schedule a ride on paratransit, and this particular day it got where it was for when I got to him it was 5:05, and they said, "Oh, you can't schedule for the next day," and that was spending revenue too. And they need more schedulers for real on paratransit. But the drivers are nice and the service is good, but the scheduling is just time constrained. Sometimes you're on there an hour or 2 or 3 hours. Sometimes just to get a call in, and it's very hard. And I hope that you can put the 15A, the 48A back on, and make sure that when you look at the 50 where it used to go from east to west. East to west is still people gotta buy all day passages. They're going east to west sometimes. Yes, they do. And everything else. And bring the trolley services back that they used to go around in the neighborhoods and all that stuff. And everything else. God bless.
Do we have any more callers?
No more callers at this time.
All right, I wanted to say to the board as well as to the staff, there are certain situations that have been lifted. We talked to the public. I ask that you follow up on, make the calls back to people. I think our link concerning the 48 and the 50 is quite extensive, so let's get that out. Anything else from any board member concerning the callers? All right. Anything from anybody else for the good and welfare today? The next regular board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, July the 26th, 2022, in this room. The board will be live streamed, and you may follow it on the designated agenda. The public is welcome to attend in person. I do want to make the announcement that after the retreat, there was a discussion that there will be an announcement soon that we will have an afternoon board meeting. And when I get with everyone's schedule, we will let you know when that will be. There's been often the question, 9 o'clock in the morning is not convenient for everybody, but we're going to try to have a late afternoon meeting to accommodate as many who wishes to come. All right, anything else today? If not, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And it's been seconded, and it's not debatable. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Consider it adjourned. Aye. Make sure you look at the picture of we have up here, and also the Beautiful plaque.